What's going on, everybody? A couple days after Thanksgiving here. As you guys know, on the old battle wagon in here, I have a lot of electronics, and all of them are pretty power hungry. I got Garmin. I think it's the 126 SV, which draws 3 amps. And then I have two Solix 15s, Gen 3s, one here, one at the console. They draw 2.6 amps, and I have a black box for the live scope. That's why we have the Garmin up there, running 2 live wells if we have a good day and we're catching them, and then anything else you can think about. I run a YOLO stick power to power my GoPros and my action cameras all the time. Now, with that being said, I have needed a really good cranking and electronics battery for a while now. I've been doing my research. First off, you guys know that I've been affiliated with Odyssey Battery in the past. I have nothing bad to say about that company. They're an awesome battery. I think that they're the best lead acid battery on the planet. And if I was going back lead acid, I would definitely check out Odyssey. But when I was talking to Chris Malone down at Malone's Marine, telling him that I needed a new battery that would keep me out on the water for long periods of time and, power all this really power hungry stuff. Garmin, the two Solix 15s, all the other stuff that's going on my boat. We were looking at the options, looked at a ton of different brands. He actually does deal on a bunch of different brands, but I chose to go with Powerhouse Lithium. The reason I did that is they have some really cool features, and I'm going to show you guys that in this video. They're not cheap, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. They're very expensive. Matter of fact, I think the battery that I have is probably one of the most expensive 12-volt batteries that Powerhouse makes, and potentially could be on the market. Couldn't tell you. I do know that the Powerhouse lithium batteries have really a 15-year prorated warranty. I think it's a no questions asked, I think they will replace it up to 5 years. Talking about the cranking batteries, if it's between 5 and 10 years, they will repair it for you. And then you also have the opportunity to buy a new battery if you don't want to wait for like the 6 to 10 weeks that it takes to get that battery turned around. And it's a prorated warranty after the 5 years, obviously, depending on what you want and how what's wrong with the battery and stuff. So that was one of the reasons that I chose it. But we're going to get this thing out of the box, and I'm going to show you what the box looks like. It has a Bluetooth application, which I'm going to show you guys and stuff too. But I'm going to be installing it here in my boat. One thing that I did notice about this battery is the fact that it's a lot taller than my normal 31 series batteries. My normal 31 series batteries are kind of tucked up underneath the back of the boat. So I'm going to have to do some re-rigging and trying to figure out some things here today. But we're going to be installing this thing today, and I'm going to show you guys the ins and outs of the battery. I'm going to show you why I chose Powerhouse Lithium. Now, this is not going to be an install video. We all know how to install a battery, so I'm going to get it out of the box. I'm going to show you guys what's going on with the battery, why I chose it, and then I'll show you the finished product after I get done installing it. Again, I don't want to waste your time or kind of beat a dead horse. We all know how to install a battery, or we all know how a battery is installed, or you can pay somebody to do the same thing. So I'm not going to bore you to death with this video, but I'm going to show you guys this battery, the why I chose it, why I think it's a really cool battery, and some features of it. So let's dive into it. So just got it unboxed here. I chose the PHCB 12160. Now this is a 160 amp hour, 12.8 volt lithium battery, and again does have the smart battery app included. Download it out on your favorite place. You can see here there's some instructions here about how to do that. You just basically go out to your app store, whether it be Android or iOS, and look for Powerhouse Lithium. Download that either from the Google Play Store or the App Store for iOS. download that thing. It will find your battery or batteries, and then you can actually see how much power is in it. This thing actually had, I opened this thing up. It's never been put in my boat, but it already had a firmware update for the battery. So it did that, pretty seamlessly. But inside here, it comes with a bag of bolts and nuts and washers. A couple of them are longer or shorter, depending on what you need to put on the battery. And again, if we dive in to this thing, one of the best features that this thing has, the reason I chose this battery over all other lithium batteries on the planet, is that it has this option right here. Let me get this thing out of this box. We'll put it on my deck of my boat. We'll take a look at it. I'll show you what this battery is, what it does, and why I think this is one of the coolest features of lithium batteries on the market today. So first glance here at this Powerhouse Lithium, again, you can tell that this battery is a substantial amount taller. It's probably another 1.5 to 2 inches taller than most 31 series batteries, which is something that I'm going to have to do some re-rigging for. To be honest with you, I didn't even take into consideration this thing would be taller. I just assumed that the 31 series would be the same size all around. That was my fault. It'll fit in my boat. I'm just going to have to do some re-rigging. Obviously it comes with caps here on the positive and negative. I'm going to leave those on there until I get the battery put into place. But as I mentioned, this little thing back here, you can read right there where it says emergency start. The coolest thing about this battery, in my opinion, first off, the fact that it has 160 amp hours is absolutely crazy. 1,200 cold cranking amps, 12.8 volts. But this little thing right here, the emergency start, this battery has its own jump pack built into it. So if you're stranded out on the water, you've been fishing for, I don't know how long it's going to take for this battery to go dead. If you figure, so I'm running, it's basically going to be 3, 6, 9 amps per hour there on those. So you're going to be looking at 9 plus, depending on how many amps that the yellow stick draws, how many amps that the live wells are drawing, etc. And this thing, potentially could last forever, depending on your setup. But if you're ever out in the water and you've been fishing and you maybe forget to plug this thing in, and you apologize for the door shutting, the wind's blowing here. But if you forget to plug this thing in, battery goes dead, you can press this button here, and it has its own jump pack in it, which will have enough life in it to start your boat, get you back to where you need to go. I think that's one of the absolute coolest features here with this Powerhouse Lithium. And again, this is 160 amp hours. The PHCB 12160 cranking battery has a smart technology. I'll show you guys a screen recording of the app in just a minute. But just for the sake of not boring you guys to death, I'm going to take this out, put it into my boat, and then I'll show you guys when I get it installed. So if we go back here really quickly, I'll show you what I have going on right now. I have 3 Odyssey PCM 2150s there. And I had one here as my cranking battery. First and foremost, I've had these batteries for, this is going on the 6th season of these batteries. They're working just fine. The 4th one that I had went kaput. And again, when I look at the amount of, bang for your buck and weight reduction and things, I'm pretty sure those Odysseys right there weigh over 70 pounds a piece. Had an Odyssey here. I have a really cheap, I think it's called Energy Power. It was given to me by a buddy of mine just to get me through the season. Down here, I have a NOCO Genius 10x4, which will allow me to charge that lithium and these other lead acid batteries as well, the AGM stuff. So I'm going to have to do some re-rigging because as you can see down there, that battery just barely fits in there. So my battery is going to have to be moved forward. It's going to have to go forward this way right here to fit in here. which is okay. I knew there would be some issues and some kind of tribulations going on with this, but I'm going to get it installed. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like after the installation. We'll talk about the Bluetooth application and things, and show you how to get your hands on one if you're interested. All right, got her all installed there. Not the prettiest installation ever, but when you have all that crap going to one battery, motor, so that's something I forgot to mention earlier. That's my starting battery, so it's gonna be running the 7 Rood, starting it up. We have Solix 15 Gen 3 there, another Solix 15 Gen 3. We have a Garmin 12-inch, and we have a black box for the LVS 34 live scope system. We do have dual live well pumps on each live well, as well as dual bilge pumps that could be running at one time. Again, I have YOLO stick that I run a GoPro on all the time, definitely on the back, sometimes up on the front too. So this thing here is going to keep me out on the water for days on end, it seems like. Switch the NOCO Genius charger here over to Lithium. You guys are probably not seeing that, but this thing has a mode for standard 12 volt, 12 volt AVGM, 12 volt Lithium, and it has a 12 volt repair feature as well. But right now, you can see, have it installed here. Got to let this thing charge up all the way, and then in the meantime, I will show you guys the application that comes with it, what you can see during the application, what you can do with it. All right, guys, once you dive into the Powerhouse Lithium application here, obviously download this from your Google Play Store, iOS App Store, whatever you have there. It'll show up here via Bluetooth, I assume, the batteries that you have. For example, I only have one here. You can see the serial number there. It's at 51%. If I choose connect, it will then connect to the battery, and it will allow me to see what's going on with it. Well, right now you can see that it's charging, which is good. Temperature is 47 degrees Fahrenheit. It's pretty cold here in Ohio right now. Total voltage, 13.4 volts. Right now it's showing the charge time for my charger to be 7 hours remaining, which is pretty substantially a long time, but that was back, this battery was actually in dormant mode or standby mode because it was in storage. But now that it is out there and being charged, probably will take less time than that to charge. Right now it says 10.78 amps. It's going up, obviously. That's the charge deal. Shows 81.6 amp hours remaining. Again, 13.4 total volts going on. So you can check out some of the parameters. You can see all the different cells that's in there. I can set the Bluetooth name. I'll just make this cranking and hit set. That way, hopefully, when you, we'll see in just a second, that's what you'll see when you actually connect to the battery. So you can see here, it shows you all of the amperages. It shows you a lot of different things, what was going on. It shows that this thing was produced at I guess that's March 4th, 2024, the serial number, etc. You can see different cells going on in here. You can see all kind of things that's happening with this battery. And then the Bluetooth, if I go back to Bluetooth here, you can see now, sure enough, it did change that to cranking. So I'm going to go back into the parameters. I'm going to change this. I'm just kind of OCD. I'm going to make this capital. Set that. Set successfully. If I go back to Bluetooth here, you can see now that it does say cranking 51%. If you have multiple Powerhouse batteries, you would see them on this list. You would connect each one of them, and then that would give you all of the information that you have here, including all the run times and all the stuff that's there. So, if you guys are interested in getting your hands on a Powerhouse lithium battery, similar to the one I have here, they have a ton of different options, guys, not just that big giant one that I got back there. I'm running a ton of electricity, a lot of electronics that pull a lot of power. I didn't want to get stranded out on the water. Having the kind of the ability just to pay once and be done with it for a few years was a huge thing for me. So that's why I chose the Powerhouse Lithium. One, it had one of the biggest amp hour batteries I can get in a 31 series. As you guys saw there after I got the installation done, It's, I don't know, about 1.5 inches taller than a normal 31 series battery. So if you're looking at getting one of these 160 amp hour starting Powerhouse lithium batteries, take that into consideration. You have to be able to have the ability, the space for it to fit. I'm lucky enough that, you know, I just had to move my battery tray forward about 1 inch and it fit just fine. So I'm really excited to get this thing out on the water. But until then, guys, if you guys are interested in getting your hands on a Powerhouse lithium battery, Malone's Marine in Ironton, Ohio. Put the information here on the screen. It'll be in the description below as well. Go down there, find yourself out on the water more often and catching more fish, because your electronics are not going to drain your battery. So you can definitely make sure you get home, especially with that Powerhouse lithium. It's the only thing I've seen so far that has that emergency start feature in it, which is something that's really, really intriguing for me. That's why I spent the extra money on the Powerhouse lithium. Again, guys, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Honor the Line, I appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It means more to me than you'll ever know. I'm trying to post more content, better content, and build the biggest fishing community as possible wherever you're seeing this. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you name it, we're out there. So get out there and lean on them, guys. We'll see you next time on Another Line.